Official DVSA stats show that between April 2024 and March 2025, around 815,000 driving tests ended in a fail. That's around a 50% pass rate across the UK. Let that sink in. If you're learning to drive and don't want to be part of that 50%, hit like and subscribe, because I'm doing everything I can to make sure you pass. Right, now that you're in, let's break down the top 10 reasons, according to the DVSA, why so many learners didn't make the cut. Let's go.
At number 10, the fault we have is not driving at a safe and reasonable speed. Over 13,500 learners failed for this. An example of this would be driving over the speed limit. Say the speed limit drops from 40 miles per hour to 30, you must be at 30 by the time you get to the sign, not after it. Another example would be driving down a busy high street and not lowering your speed accordingly depending on the hazards around you. This could also be marked for driving too slow. Say the speed limit is 30 miles per hour and the road is clear and safe, but you're driving around 20, that would result as a serious fault. At number 9, we have poor positioning on the road during normal driving. Over 14,000 learners failed for this fault. Examples of this would be either driving too close to the curb, which would be putting pedestrians at risk, or driving too close to the centre of the road, causing risk to oncoming vehicles. Another example would be driving in the right-hand lane of a dual carriageway instead of keeping to the left lane. And number 8, it's not responding correctly to road markings. Over 20,000 learners failed for this. An example of this would be using a lane which is clearly marked for turning left only, but instead you continue straight ahead or turn right. Other examples are entering a box junction when your exit is not clear, and not steering around a mini roundabout correctly. And number 7, it's not responding correctly to traffic signs. Over 22,000 learners failed for this. Examples of this are not stopping at a stop sign, driving in a bus lane, and choosing the wrong lane on the approach to a roundabout which displays clear signage. At number 6, it's not having proper control of the steering. Almost 25,000 learners failed because of this. Examples of this are not steering enough or steering late when turning left. Steering late when turning right into a minor road. And mounting the pavement when pulling up on the left. Note that these 3 faults that I've just mentioned, the examiner will only mark as serious if you cause danger or keep repeating the faults. At number 5, we have not responding appropriately to traffic lights. 26,500 learners failed for this. Examples would be not reacting to a red traffic light, stopping after the first white line entering the cyclist box. When waiting for a safe gap in the middle of the junction, the repeater light turns red. Oncoming vehicles have stopped, but you still continue to wait, resulting in you blocking the junction. Another example would be waiting at the traffic lights when your light is green. This normally happens at filter lights. Number 4 is incorrect positioning when turning right at junctions. Examples of this are obstructing traffic when you're waiting to turn right. You position too far to the left when waiting for oncoming traffic, so you prevent the traffic behind from overtaking. And when turning right at the end of a road, instead of positioning to the right, you position to the left. Almost 30,000 learners fell because of this.
Before we move on to the final 3, a quick heads up for any of you that are learning to drive. Get the Ultimate Driving Course app. It's like having me as your instructor in your pocket, guiding you every step of the way. There's a video for every single topic you need to pass the driving test. Just watch the right one before your lesson and jump in the car already knowing what's what. No more wasting lesson time parked up going over the basics. You'll save around 15 to 20 minutes per session, learn faster and cut down on lesson costs. There's a lot of free content to get you on the road and it's free to download on both Android and iOS.
And number 3, we have not moving off safely. Over 32,000 learners failed for this. Examples of this would be moving off from behind a parked vehicle into the path of an oncoming vehicle, causing them to slow down. Repeatedly not checking the right blind spot when moving off. And when moving off after the pull up on the right manoeuvre, you move off with either an oncoming vehicle or a closely approaching vehicle from behind. And number 2, it's not using mirrors correctly when changing direction. Almost 39,000 learners failed because of this. Examples of this are when turning right at a multi-lane roundabout, you move from the right lane to the left lane when exiting the roundabout, but do not do any mirror checks. Another example is causing a vehicle to slow down when changing lanes on a dual carriageway. And changing lanes on a roundabout or a carriageway when there's a vehicle directly alongside you. And finally, at number 1, the most common reason why learners failed the test was for not making effective observations at junctions. Over 45,000 learners failed just for this fault. Examples of this are when turning left or right from a minor road onto a main road, you don't judge the speed of approaching vehicles, forcing them to slow down. Entering a roundabout when it's not safe, causing the vehicle that's on the roundabout to slow down. Making no observations when joining a dual carriageway from a slip road. And not recognizing you're approaching a crossroads, so you continue straight ahead without making any observations to the right or left.